Bear here. Whenever I do something a lot, I started just sort of, you know, blogging, just doing some recording what I do live and putting on YouTube. And so I need to write descriptions. Whenever I do something a lot, and I'm finding I have to write YouTube descriptions a lot these days, I write a tool to do that. So what I'm going to do is I just go to Gemini and go to deep research. Oh, I'm already on deep research. That's why it didn't do that. And I just hit go. I'm going to go downstairs and get a cup of coffee. By the time I come back up, the research will probably be done. And then we'll spend another 5 or 10 minutes making a little GPT plugin for it. I'll also make a Gemini plugin for it. And then forever on, I just paste in some text, my transcript, which is also done automatically. And then it'll give me what it believes is a good YouTube title description. As with everything in AI, I might change, a couple things in the title, but it usually gets it very, very close. So it's a big time saver just to take a transcript, paste it in. That's something like a Gemini Gem or a custom GPT, have it generate something which is either okay or close. And you're not just sort of wasting a lot of time, trying to write YouTube descriptions. Okay. That's it for this. Hit run. It'll start running. I'm going to go downstairs and grab my coffee. By the time I come up, this will probably be done. Okay, quick update. In spite of Google being in the business of providing computing services to people, apparently they can't handle their own capacity. So I've been twice. I can't handle this. Too much load. I can't handle this, too much load. So when that happens, I just go to the bazillion other tools which do the same thing. So I'm going to go to thinking. I'm going to paste in the same thing and hit go. We'll see if OpenAI can handle their load or not. It's doing its little thinking thing. It's going to give me a bunch of rules typically of what it wants to do. But it looks like it's gone. So it looks like at least OpenAI can handle their server stuff where Google, so often the case with Google that I'll type something in and I'll get that message, we're in the business of selling people Google Cloud, but we can't handle our own Google Cloud. Okay, take care. Okay, looks like the research is ran. I have a generic template to generate GPTs. I'll create one to generate gems as well. But the basic idea is a lot of useful commands. There's always the list and help command. In this case, there's just one main command. I'm going to call it Descriptor. I'm also going to alias it to YT because I don't like to type. And what it does is I just paste it in a transcript and it gives me an optimized YouTube title. It'll typically give me a few choices of the title. It'll give me a description, which I can edit, but it should be close. And it'll give me hashtags. So this is the research it did. So it basically came up with a bunch of rules of how to write effective descriptions, titles, and hashtags. The rules are fairly extensive because it did a lot of research on it. I don't want to type all this stuff every time I want to write something. I just want to say YT, put in the transcript, and have it go. And that's the purpose of writing these GPTs. So what it's going to do is it's going to take this template. It's going to take its rules that it came up with and research what is the sort of best way to write these things. And then once I write a GPT, I just go to it and paste in my transcript and say, go. And then typically I'll accept it because I don't try to over-optimize like a YouTube title or YouTube description. But if I really can, I would typically take it through 2 or 3 or 4 times. But the tools tend to give me something which is pretty good, first time. And then if you really care, and for like the music, the art, I really care. So it'll go through 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 100 iterations. To write a song, it may be 100 iterations. To write a YouTube description, I don't care that much as long as it's pretty good. I'll probably get it in 1 or 2 tries. So we just hit go at this point. It'll get me a bunch of rules. So I'm just going to talk just to entertain you while it's thinking. But basically, again, what I did is I gave it a template of how I want to run a GPT. These GPTs are all command-based. GPTs are also limited to 8,000 characters. So if I have extensive rules like I do here, 5 pages of rules, they don't go into the GPT. They go into a supplementary document, which I always use as MV stop, which it'll just upload and read. Because I only have 8,000 characters to work with a GPT. When I have extensive rule lists, they'll go into the GPT. And this is what this is doing now. It's creating it's creating YouTube MD here. And it's giving detailed rules on. So I basically just have one function, YT. The reason why I use YT is I don't want to type. So I just say YT paste in text, but I'll give it a longer one. But sometimes if it's too short, it'll confuse it. So I have an alias descriptor, which is a unique thing. It's not reused in other language. So it'll know if I type in descriptor exactly what I mean. If I type in YT, it should know what I mean. But sometimes because YT is so short, it may be confused to what do you mean by YT exactly, even though it has explicit instructions. It will almost never confuse that because it's, unambiguous. So a bunch of rules here. If it's done, it's still going. And one default things I have is I have a command just to, what do you do? Explain yourself. So there's always list and help. A list does is just list the commands. Help will actually sort of explain what do you do. So I just go here. I update this. So this is not generic. So this is my generic template. I want to update the YouTube template. So there we go. We just update that. And then what we do is we just create a new GPT. Takes a second. We go to Explore, create new. We just paste that in there. So this is longer than 8,000. So what I'm going to update it with, so I'm going to start this here. So by removing this stuff, it's 8,000. It's also specifically trying to get it in my voice. So what's it's instructed to do is actually look at sort of the way I speak and try to write the YouTube description in sort of the same voice. But this is too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to narrow it down. I could add as much as I want in the YouTube MD, which I'm just going to go ahead and upload now. So the advantage of using these MD files is what we're looking at right now. It's these my instructions, like even to do because some issue, I don't know I know what the issue is. If I use the word YouTube, it doesn't like the word YouTube because it's having some sort of, I might actually name it Descriptor and see if that solves it. So sometimes if you name something Facebook or YouTube or whatever, ChatGPT will whine. And the reason why it whines is it doesn't want to get sued. And it thinks that if I named the script, or if I named Descript, or if I name something YouTube or Facebook or something, it's going to, get sued. So something went wrong here. But let's just start with this. We could want this under 8,000 characters. So we're just going to ask it, tighten this up. And so and this may be a back and forth. So I might have to hand edit it here's where other tools are fine. If I ask a language model how many characters it is, it'll guess. If I put this into like a Word doc and say how many characters in it, it'll tell me exactly how many characters it is. So this is where using other tools is useful. Basically, all language models do is guess. I've had 8,000 plus character things which they'd guess as 1,000 characters. And so just realize what language models do is guess. So we're going to paste this in there. Where was it? Here. I'm going to bring that back down and hit create. Conversation starters are always just list, commands, and help. I might list the actual command here because Descript isn't actually a command here. So I'll put Descriptor as the command. And I'll even say it expects some text. I'll upload this later. This should work without this. So we just create. I had to make this a public GPT so you guys can use it if you want. Review it. And then I'm just going to take some text. This is an actual transcript. And I'm just going to say YT. I'm just going to click this. So here we go. It gave me just about my gun too much, but so I'm just going to put in, this is a messy transcript, has mistakes in terms of the transcript, but it's okay for this things. And what it'll do is it'll just generate a title, probably multiple titles. We'll see. Description and some hashtags. I can probably not have it default to thinking. I use thinking for the rules, but I don't really want thinking to be the default for this piece of smoke. Here we go. I either refine this a bit. I don't really want this stuff here. So I'm going to tell it not to do that. Like, that's fine. You can name multiple titles, but from here on, it should not put in anything in brackets. But this is typical of the way we deal with these things as we try them. I could use this now just by hand removing that, but I don't want to by hand move that. I literally want to just paste something in, get 3 or 4 title suggestions, paste in the description. And so I'm going to update this and tell it explicitly not to do this because that'll take 10 seconds off my life if I have to remove that. And I don't want to do that. Okay, so that's it. Take care.